¿Qué tal, muchachos? Today I wanted to give you some honest advice about learning Spanish. You might be wondering why this background. I wanted this background to reflect how the process really is. It's not perfect, it's messy, sometimes we make a lot of mistakes, we learn things that we shouldn't, and that's how it goes. Little by little, we need to learn what works and what doesn't. What is better for us, even though it may not work for other people, because everybody is different. Sometimes teachers or schools or, books want to tell us that this is the right way to learn. But actually, the right way to learn is the way that works for you. In my case, I love learning with books, with shows, with movies, and speaking with people and correcting my mistakes. I just had a conversation with one of my students. You can watch the video in my channel. And he said that for him, the best way to learn was through dating. Dating as many girls as he possibly can. If that works for him, that's perfect. I cannot tell him that that's the wrong way to learn, because it's not. You just need to find out what works for you. I remember 15 years ago, when I came back to Colombia after spending almost 9 months in the US, Guam, and the Turks and Caicos Islands, I started teaching English. And I remember this class, this advanced class, where there was this girl, this student. She was 18 years old. And she had learned English by listening to music and watching movies. Her pronunciation was amazing. Her vocabulary was incredible. She could speak, she could understand, but she needed some brushing up in some concepts like grammar concepts or expressions or things like that. But that's how she learned English. That was amazing in my opinion. We need to do the same thing in our process. We need to find out what works for each and every one of us. For some people it's music. For some people it's dating. For some other people it's volunteering. For some people it's watching movies and TV shows. For some people it's going to class. Everybody's different, and that's okay. So don't listen to people that try to tell you that this is the only way to learn Spanish, because it's not. Try to find out what works best for you. Hard work beats talent. Always, all the time. No doubt about it. I have worked with thousands of students so far, both English and Spanish students, from all over the world. I've worked with very smart students who had the Spanish class or the English class, but afterwards they didn't do anything else. They didn't do homework, they didn't practice what we did in class, they didn't speak with people, they didn't do anything else besides the class. And of course, they learned, but the process was very slow. On the other hand, I met some people that worked really hard, that did homework, that practiced what we saw in class. Some people that went out and practiced their Spanish. They went on dates. They accepted correction. They paid attention to correction. And they learned the language really fast. Every time that I receive a phone call or a text message from someone that wants to start classes with me, I always tell them, class is just part of the process. But the process is much more than Spanish classes or than English classes. The more you do, the faster the process will go. Age doesn't matter. I've heard many students and many ads in social media that say, oh, Spanish classes for people that are in their 40s. Spanish classes for people that are in their 20s. Spanish classes for people that are in their 60s. And then, of course, I understand that when I was 20 years old, I could learn a language like really fast because my brain was a sponge. And I know that the older we get, the harder it is for us to learn a language or to learn new things, not just a language. But I have seen many students in their 50s, in their 40s, in their 60s. Actually, I have 2 73-year-old students learning Spanish today. They don't learn as fast, but they are learning, and they are an inspiration to me because they keep working on it, their pronunciation is better, they can speak, they can talk about different topics, they can get by in different situations. So don't let anybody tell you that you cannot learn Spanish because you are old, because it's not true. Be smart when you learn Spanish. You don't need to learn all the words that are in Spanish in the dictionary. I don't know how many thousands of words that are in the dictionary, but you don't need to learn them all. You just need to learn the most important words that you will really use in your daily life. And these words may vary depending on your job or your interests or what you like doing. If I am a doctor, I will need to learn a lot of vocabulary about medicine. If I am a lawyer, I will have to learn a lot of vocabulary about the law, and so forth. I would recommend learning these verbs that are really important and that you will find everywhere. Tener, to have. Ser, estar, to be. Ir, to go. Querer, to want. Conocer, to meet or to know. Gustar, to like. Encantar, to love. Preferir, to prefer. Recomendar, to recommend. Saber, to know intellectually. Poder, can. This is a very good list of verbs that you will be able to connect with other verbs in different situations. Also, if you're a beginner, focus on learning the simple present tense. If you learn the simple present tense, you will be able to say many things. Even if some things won't be correct, people will actually understand what you're trying to say. For instance, if you learn the verb go in the simple present tense, you can say, voy al cine. Voy al cine is I go to the movies. That's the simple present tense. Now, you can also use this same word if you are talking about the future or if you want to talk about the future. Voy al cine esta noche. You would just need a time expression like tonight, tomorrow, etc. Those are very important as well. So, voy al cine esta noche. I go to the movies tonight is I'm going to the movies tonight or I'm going to go to the movies tonight. Everybody will understand that. Now, if you want to say that you went somewhere in the past, you could say, voy al cine anoche. Anoche is last night. I actually said, I go to the movies last night. If you say that, everybody will understand, even though you are not conjugating the verb to go in the right tense, because you are conjugating it in the present tense. That's fine. So this is my advice to you. Learn the simple present tense and it will make your life easier. The 80-20 principle. The 80-20 principle says that 80% of the results come from 20% of the effort. So if you learn the 80% of the words, phrases, expressions, and verbs that people use most of the time, it will help you speak and understand 80% of the times. That sounds like a great deal to me. If I were a basic Spanish student, I would focus on these 7 tenses. First of all, the simple present. Voy, for example. Number 2, the construction ir a plus a verb in the infinitive or the base form to indicate plans, intentions, and predictions for the future. For example, voy a ir al cine esta noche. I'm going to the movies tonight. Number 3, the present continuous or the present progressive. When you say, I am doing something. Estoy trabajando. I am working. And the question, what are you doing? ¿Qué estás haciendo? ¿Qué estás haciendo? What are you doing? Number 4, the past progressive. I was doing something. Estaba escuchando música. I was listening to music. This is a very simple construction. You just need the verb estar, and the conjugation for estar in the past tense is going to be estaba, estabas, estaba, estábamos, estaban. Again, learn the conjugations for I and for you. Estaba and estabas. Number 5, the preterite indefinite, which is basically the simple past. Like, I did something. I ate pizza last night. Comí pizza anoche. There are plenty of irregular verbs in this tense, but I recommend working with the most common ones. And again, practice the conjugation for I and you. Number 6, the preterite imperfect. When you express habits and routines in the past, like used to do something. You also use this tense to describe people, places, objects, and things in the past. Like, for example, iba al cine con mi familia. I used to go to the movies with my family. Iba a. Iba a. Number 7, the preterite perfect. That is, I have done something. For this construction, you need the verb haber. You can learn it little by little. With this construction, you could say, for instance, he vivido en Colombia por 2 años. I've lived in Colombia for 2 years. I assure you that if you learn these 7 tenses, your Spanish will get to B1 really fast. Anyway, guys, I just wanted to share with you some ideas, some thoughts. I hope this is helpful, that I didn't waste your time today. Please let me know if you are enjoying this content, if you are finding it interesting, if it is helping you in your process. You can also contact me if you want specific questions to be addressed in my YouTube channel. Chao, nos vemos.